60% of college students experience overwhelming anxiety, highlighting the critical need for mental health support. And indeed, we need to prioritize mental health and student well-being, creating a nurturing educational environment, fostering growth and learning for all. So as we know, we are discussing mental health and student well-being, and I have here with me lovely guests. But before I introduce them, we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, I'll introduce my guest, and we will start the conversation. Stay tuned. This is African Student Voices on AAU TV, and we are discussing student mental health, mental health and student well-being. I have here with me lovely guests whom I'm going to give a minute to introduce themselves. I'll start with you, Bella.
Okay. I'm Erica Otu Aku from the University of Ghana, Legon, offering psychology and philosophy.
You're welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
I'm Batiah Semi-Ulah Santi, a student of Wisconsin International University College, Ghana, studying BSc Nursing, and I'm the immediate past SRC President and also a staff nurse at the Kolebe Teaching Hospital.
Great. You are both welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so as we all know, we are discussing mental health and student well-being. We'll go straight into our discussion. So first of all, I want us to talk about transitioning to school as a student, and equally as a student and worker, because I think both of you are in the working sector already. So how does it feel, or let me say, what are the personal challenges you experience when transitioning to school? I mean, what goes into your preparation when you're about to begin a new semester? How do you start with that? How are you able to cope and prepare yourself mentally, and prepare your whole self for school's resumption?
Okay.
Yes, Bella, I'll start from you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah. When starting a semester or a school, sometimes you feel like you fear certain things, maybe financial problems.
Yes.
Yeah. You're trying to find something to do in order to get money. Sometimes you don't know what to do. But as I'm in a business sector or I'm into business, yeah, I sell things in order to get money to go to school. Yeah.
Okay, I'll come to you, Mr. Sami. Can you share your personal challenges, or let me say anxieties that you faced when you are about to resume?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question.
You're welcome.
As a student, whenever a semester is about to begin, it comes with a whole lot of anxiety.
Yes.
And ranging from financial issues, you would have to look at paying your school fees. And I attended a private university.
Yeah.
The fee comes in a way that we say is very huge. And private universities, as we know, are being funded solely by themselves, no support from anywhere. So when it comes to the payment of fees, they don't give any room for you to give them, let's say, complaints. So as a student in a private university, there is anxiety based on how I'm going to get my money to pay the fees. And in my situation, I am taking care of myself.
Yeah.
So I start looking at it. School is about reopening, but I haven't saved enough. So there's that fear.
Yes.
Also, now you also have the anxiety gearing towards your expectations within the semester. And usually you see your results before you move into the next semester. So you ask yourself, next semester or the semester I'm going to engage in, am I going to perform well again? And courses that you didn't do well, you begin to ask yourself, the going is becoming more tougher. So if I'm not able to adjust, chances are high that my GPA may dwindle. So all these things come a long way, making you think a lot. And also you are given a fair idea of the number of courses you are doing as school begins. And now last semester you did 8, the next semester you're doing 11. It comes with some kind of stress. You begin thinking about how you'll be able to blend all these things together. And these are the challenges that we do encounter. So you start looking at how you can work towards achieving success at the end of the day. Because the primary aim is to come out with flying colors at the end of the stay in your university.
Yes, that's true. I think you spoke about the fact that sometimes you're about to resume, you see your GPA, you see your results, and you ask yourself, how are you going to maneuver? In your case, since you are working, I mean, in the nursing sector, I know there is a lot to do there. It would take much of your time. You have to go to school or go to work. You come back and you do this and you do. How are you able to factor all that in? Seeing that maybe this semester you did 8 courses, but next semester you are doing 11, and you are working. You need money to pay fees. How are you able to put all these things together?
Okay, thank you very much. So I am always able to do this, first of all, by looking at my time management. I usually plan myself
Okay.
that there is time for work and there is time for studies.
Yeah.
There is also time for me to make money to pay my fees.
Okay.
So as a student who is working at the same time schooling, what I usually do is that when I get to school, I make sure that I don't roam about carelessly.
Okay.
I actually pay attention to what is being taught because I don't have much time to revisit my notes. And thankfully, I'm the type when I sit down and listen, it sticks.
Okay.
Yes, and also I engage in group studies. Thankfully, now we have technology or IT advancements.
Yeah.
So some of us are able to get WhatsApp platforms for ourselves as group studies.
Yeah.
Then we join via Zoom or Google Meet and have discussions. Amongst you, there are some that are very smart,
Yeah.
so they assist you to
So
match
just
up.
like something.
Yes, and also when you get back to the work site, we try to be humble and hardworking so that our superiors can sometimes understand our plight. So that probably I always do night duty, then in the morning I come to work. So if you get to the classroom, you're even tired, you are sleepy.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
so but when you have good in charges and you also deliver, they sometimes understand your situation and they allow you to leave early after you've done your part. So blending this, you're able to do. Now with the academic work where we are looking at the GPA,
Yeah.
being a student working, and let's say as a top up in a way, having a fair idea of what the whole program I'm studying is all about, it helps me grasp whatever that is being taught easily. And I must say I'm a standard student in a way.
Okay.
So my GPA keep increasing on semester basis,
Okay.
all because of the practical knowledge I have. I think that is one of the advantage I have, and I
Okay.
make good use of that.
Okay. So Erica, let me come to you. Since you are equally doing your personal business, an entrepreneur, if I should say, you have your personal business that you are managing, and I don't know if you have some people working for you, but then let me talk about you. How are you able to balance, your personal business and then your schooling? How is the balance?
Okay, thank you. So it's not easy to balance school and work. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm in class, I do get orders and I'm supposed to go out of class to buy what they want for them and give to a delivery guy to send it to them. Yeah. So it's not that easy for me. Sometimes I don't even go to class. Let's say in 2 weeks I haven't been to class. Yeah. I take notes or slides from my friends in order to catch up with them. Yeah. So it's not easy for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been in class, let's say you haven't been in class for 2 weeks, and maybe there are some assignments that went on in class, not maybe a take-home assignment, in-class assignment. How are you able to partake, or let's say, how do you go about it?
Okay, so I have friends that do understand my business. Yeah, so if anything, they tell me about it. Sometimes we have a page we work on. We do our assignments on it's Sakai.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes every morning I do check on Sakai if I have any assignments or something to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then I want us to delve straight into managing change and uncertainty. We know that, you go to school, you really don't know what to expect. You go to class, you don't know what to expect. You have your own business, you are working for somebody, yes. You don't know, that balance is not already there. So how are you able to deal with the uncertainties and changes that comes with starting your new school, starting a new class, like moving ahead or taking a step further in your academics? How do you manage that uncertainty?
Okay, so sometimes I manage that by speaking to myself, like motivating myself, meditating on what I'm supposed to do, having like making my own schedules on what to do and what not to do. I don't move around with people. I focus on what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sami, let me come to you. So how do you deal with the uncertainties?
Okay, so I have a principle that life is unpredictable, and the road is not always going to be juicy and rosy all the time. So I psych myself that I'm ready for whatever that comes my way, because the main objective is for me to excel academically within the semester. So one thing I do is that I first of all look at how I'm able to get support group around myself. That is among my colleagues or peers. I try looking at people that I can fall on in case of any situation that is beyond my capability. I also work towards getting good rapport with my lecturers. Yes, letting them understand my situation. You see, when you are in the university and you have that relationship with your lecturers and it's in good standing, there are moments that they do understand your plight and they can adjust for you. I think there are moments that I blend student leadership alongside with academic work, and I was supposed to leave the country for a program in Rwanda. So I had IAs that were supposed to be written 2 days as I'll be leaving, meaning I'll be absent while the IAs would have been conducted. So I was able to speak to the lecturers and they made me to take mine earlier. Yes, and I was able to go for the program having my peace of mind and also getting a fair idea of what the academic calendar is and the syllables or course outline. I try to work ahead of time. So when I study, I make sure that I make time to study more. And also, the other aspect is also uncertainty when it comes to money issues. Yeah, so there are moments that the semester commences and I'm like, I don't have the full fees. So I make part payment of my fees whilst working towards sometimes getting a loan. In case of any situation, the best I can do is to get a loan. And now when you get a loan, the profit becomes a challenge. So these are the issues that we are confronted with and how we are able to go about it.
Okay. So before we go for a break, are there any school-based programs or let me see, some counseling services that has assisted you and let me see your peers or your course mates in managing uncertainties associated with transitioning to?
Yes. So in my university, we have a guidance and counseling unit. Yes, and personally, I have not gone there for their services, but being a student leader, I've actually engaged the head of the guidance and counseling unit, and I've personally led students there for them to engage the students. I've also organized programs within the semester for the guidance and counseling unit to have a seminar with the students, letting the students know what services they can render and how they can come out of their shells to let them know what the issues are. So basically what we do is that within the semester, we have orientation for freshers and continuing students. Many a time the continuing students don't come in their numbers because they are a bit familiar with the tradition. But as the freshers come in and we make this known to them, a lot of them do pass by and the guidance and counseling unit does a lot of things for them. We also look at having programs from corporate organizations and individuals that come in to engage students. And we have some lecturers too that are very close to students, especially the Dean of Students Affairs. You recommend students to get closer to them and also identify other seniors as mentors to guide you. This is what I've been able to do for my colleagues. And people actually have a lot of issues, ranging from financial issues, ranging from, let's say, lecturers molesting female students and trying to have affair with them before they pass them and those stuffs. It's a whole lot that do make the female students become stressed.
Yeah.
So we encourage them to go out of their shelves and air out what the issues are, and it helps them a lot.
Okay, so would you say that the counseling session, is helping the student to, it's helping that percentage of stressed students, or students who are going through, having that stress mentally, it's actually bringing down the mental stress of students. Would you say the counseling session is really helping?
It's helping. It's helping. Cases? It helps a lot in the sense that I recall a student came to my office and she was depressed. And throughout the engagement, I got to realize, you get to the university and some people get into relationship with guys and those stuffs. Actually, her heart was being played with and she was depressed. She was actually at the downside. Yeah. And she was, in mental health, when someone say, I want to commit suicide, you don't take that for granted. Yes. Yeah, so such comments were coming and I thought that this is something I can sit and watch. So engaging the guidance and counseling head, she was able to bring this girl back to life. She's okay now and she's fine. She's a living testimony to the services of guidance and counseling.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, sure. So it's getting more interesting, but before we go deeper into the conversation, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take more discussion. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, and this is African Students' Voices. We are discussing mental health and student well-being, which is an open dialogue. So before the break, we were talking about how students are able to maintain their academic well-being, their mental health. So we'll go straight and continue with our conversation. Let me come to you, Erica. So I want us to talk about academics and social pressure. You go to school and you resume, there's already pressure in your academics. Lecturers give you the course outline. Sometimes the course outline is a lot. It's a number of pages. You have that stress already to be able to, adapt, or sometimes go ahead of your lecturers, read more about the course outline just to prepare yourself for the semester work. And equally, there's that social pressure. In the universities, we see that we have friends who sometimes influence going out, doing all sorts of other social activities. How is this pressure? How do you manage both? How are you able to, balance yourself through both and still make yourself relevant in your academic work?
Okay, thank you. So actually level 100, when I came first, I didn't know anything about, let's say, how the courses will be, how things are going to be. So I went to a hostel. I was staying there, we're 4 in a room, and I didn't know how things were going to be. This is my first time entering into the university, So I joined a group of people, like friends, that will be having studies together, but it wasn't studies actually. They were moving out every day, in and out. So I couldn't focus on my education. I couldn't. So it gave me a low academic
GPA.
Yes.
So how are you able to bounce back? Did you bounce back though?
No, let's say second semester, then I bounced back. So I was enjoying in sake of the pressure and things. I was enjoying when you go to campus, people are well dressed. Then you're wearing your normal thing, you don't feel comfortable. So when we go out, we follow people, we engage in certain things, we get money to buy clothes and other stuff. So my GPA wasn't good at all. So let's say second semester, when I watched my GPA, it wasn't good. Then I advised myself, no, I'm not going to be in this situation again, because I worked hard before getting the money to pay for the hostel fee. Let's say the school fees my dad paid, but for the hostel fees, and I worked hard. I had to see a man. I followed the man. Actually, I was crossing a road. I think I was crying on how to get money to pay my hostel fee, yeah, because I can't move from house to, yeah.
To the house.
So he saw me and he said, let me give you a ride, okay. And I entered his car, then we spoke. Then he said he's going to help me. Then he gave me 1,000 cedis.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So when he gave me the 1,000 cedis, let's say some 3 weeks or something, he called again. Then he came to my hostel that I should be doing something with him in order for him to be giving me more money. Yeah. So it wasn't helping me.
Yeah. But how did that affect you? Because of course, the fact that you didn't, first of all, you didn't have the money to even pay the fees, and now you meet someone who wants to help, but then wants something in return. How were you able to mentally absorb that and equally come out of it?
Yeah, I wasn't okay. So at first I was relying on God that God is going to help, but it was keeping long. I didn't know what to do. I was praying, crying, doing everything to get the money, but the money wasn't coming. So when he came, then I said, okay, let me follow him and get the money to pay. But it wasn't easy that way.
Yeah. Okay. Let me come to you, Mr. Semi-Ulah. How did you, the social, academics and then the social pressure, how do you deal with that in school? Even though I know you are working, but then I know there are still influences even at work or at school.
Okay, so much of this happened my college days.
Okay.
I went to the college before coming to the university. So during that time, first semester, you are no less aware that there is this formula for GPA. If you want to have a good GPA or you want to earn on a good note, you need to start building a strong foundation. And for that matter, if you have a weak GPA from your first semester and second semester, it continues that way. You surely will find it difficult at the end of the day. So first semester during my college days, I just went in, taking the studies on a normal level, not going the extra mile. And the first semester, I made a good GPA though, but I felt I could have done better because later when I was informed that the initial courses are always a bit easy. So if you come in and you're able to hit hard, you can get even a first class GPA, 3.6 and above in your first semester. So I think that was a mistake I made, or something. I was actually a novice. I didn't know about that. Yeah, so the first semester I made a good GPA, but the second semester, as I got to know about that, I worked extra harder. And if I take my transcript for the college, you realize that the semester basis, it kept increasing, or I was improving. Now, fast forward to the university, I came in as a matured student in the sense that I've experienced tertiary education in a way, though in a different environment now. Yeah, so I have always had interest in student leadership, and that has always been my distraction any day, anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, so one thing I told myself is that I will still want to do the student leadership or student politics, but whatever I do, I should be mindful that I need a good GPA. And for that matter, I go the extra mile to learn in the night. Even if I go for night duty, I still learn.
Okay.
So during the day, some people follow me and feel that I don't study. But those that I'm very sincere to, I tell them this is the way forward.
Well, I know sincere to everybody because there is a crowd following you.
Yes, some people imitate you blindly. They wouldn't actually open up. And as a student leader, I had a lot of people that I had to mentor. So that others, when they come in from the first semester, they want to also succeed as a leader in those stuff. So I was more or less like being guided in as much as I'm into extracurricular activities. But the fact that some people are taking you as a role model, I ought to be serious. That has been my guide towards social life and academic work. Now with the GPA and those stuffs, at the university, as I had experience back at college, I actually prepared myself and I kept moving in a particular pace that the difference is not much. But my first, second, third, and fourth semester were very good. it's the last semester that
That
was a
mess.
bit challenging because
Yeah.
we have case study, research work, and all those stuffs, and I have to hand over and all those stuff. So the
Yeah.
last semester was very tough
Very tough.
for me, but still I made it, but I didn't get my first class.
Oh, too bad.
Yes.
I know that mostly the final semester
Yes.
there's a bit of a struggle there, especially when you are adding your school and work, and equally you being a student leader. I know it's been a whole lot for you. So now let's talk about building connections. Mostly, I say that connections are good. You understand, but in the university, you either make a good one or a bad one. So let me come to you, Erica. How did your friendship or your connection with students or your colleagues at the university affect your well-being or your stay on campus?
Okay, thank you. So for level 100, my connection with my friends wasn't good at all.
Okay.
I didn't get any improvements or get any 10 from it. Yeah. But whilst moving forward, I got new friends, customers, and things that I'm now improving in my academic studies and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Should I come to you? So let's talk about connections. I mean, with you, there is school connections, there is this student leader connections. I know you guys have a lot of programs, and there is equally the work connections. So how have they affected you, or how have they impacted your stay in school and as work, and how do you juggle between both of them?
Okay. Connections are good. When you get to the university, what can make you different from others is the kind of people you relate with. There are instances where when you join the negative groups, you'll be influenced negatively.
Of course.
But I have always been on a path that I get the opportunity to relate with my lecturers and also
Okay.
people I actually admire from afar and aspire to be like them. And classically, being in Wisconsin, I think anytime I walk into the university, I'm more or less like I'm being loved by everyone that comes into contact with me because
Okay.
I've learned to be humble dealing with people. I've also learned that when you're able to relate well with others, it takes you to a better height that you wouldn't have actually gotten there based on if, let's say, you are wealthy, you will not even get there. But the fact that people see you are down to earth and you're able to relate with them, they help you. To the extent that my chancellor can call me to always have engagements with me. And any day he sees me, he gives good recommendations. That is enough for me. And also within the work side, dealing with patients, because you don't know who the person is. You're actually caring for a sick person. But one thing I've got to realize is that different kind of people come.
Yeah.
There are some that can change your life. I didn't get direct cash from patients, but I've gotten advice. A high court judge was admitted in my ward and I cared for her. She actually told me that I am more than what I'm doing here. And she believes that if I take life serious, I'll go higher than where I am. And she told me that she believes that I can even practice beyond nursing.
Yeah.
And I told her my vision is actually to read medicine. But it's about resources and those stuff. And she told me it will happen.
Okay.
So she told me once I'm done with the BSc and I need support, I should let her know.
Yeah.
So I think it's something I'm moving into. And all is by the grace of what? Connections. With family background, I'm not from a rich family, but I'm able to stay in Accra. And where I stay currently is as a result of taking care of a patient. I was talking about renting and the patient told me that he has a house and for that matter, if I don't mind. So I'm staying there now and that is the benefit of connections.
Okay.
It's good for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I think your mental health is sound. I mean,
Yes.
looking at how the journey has been so far, the fact that you even had to, I mean, through connection, through that positive connection that you had, you're able to get a roof over your head. That means, I mean, mental health is not, I mean, it's just decreased, you understand? Because if not for that, then you'll be thinking about where to get money to even rent, looking at a rent, and the kind of money you have to have before you can rent in our part of the country. Now, let's talk about, okay, so let me still be on you. I see you have a lot of, I mean, you are able to relate to people, I mean, to talk to them, to talk to students, talk to people. I mean, your care, the care you even give to someone is a lot, as you said. Are there some tips you would want to share in someone, I mean, if someone wants to connect with people, what do you think they have to put in place to be able to get the right connections or the right kind of people they need around them? You said in your submission that in order to make it, or in order to, I mean, make it as a student, it should come from the kind of people you associate yourself with. So with that, are there some tips you think you can give out on how people should select the kind of people that they work with in school or even outside? I mean, it all goes down to
Yes.
mental health and, I mean, bringing yourself down.
Okay. Thank you very much for this question. I will actually start from the point of parenting and let's say from the home.
Yeah.
Yes, you see, if you have a child, the kind of training you give the child at home reflects in the behavior or attitude of the child when he or she goes out. So I am from a home that, let's say, I'm from a royal family, and my dad, being a chief, he actually made sure that at home he gave us a particular kind of training that any day, any time, you should be in a good position to succeed or to lead. And for that matter, he has to give you that kind of training. So I believe one key thing is we say charity begins at home. So how you groom your child at home will help the child when the child gets out. Some of us are at home, you are being trained in a way that you become timid. When you get outside, it becomes difficult for you to even interact or relate with others. So I was fortunate that I've been trained in a way that I'm open to anybody. I'm not timid. No matter what the crowd is, I'll speak. I also have this philosophy that there are three things that makes you as an individual: the books you read, the places you go, and the people you interact with.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you are the one who read books that will help you acquire knowledge, you'll surely get it. If you go to the ghetto and you want to be like the ghetto people, you'll be like them. If you also want to interact with people as role models, they will train you or guide you in your steps. And also, you should be an individual that is ready to learn. Don't make it that you know it all.
Yeah.
And do not be complacent.
Okay.
Complacency is out of my way.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Erica, let me come to you. Are there some tips you think you would want to share when it comes to how to make friends, how to meet the right people? I mean, it's all amounts to how your journey will be. You understand? Sometimes you make friends and it's a lot of stress. You have to add that friendship stress to you. So how do you think, or how would you advise someone in getting new support system, good support system as a student and as a worker?
Okay, thank you. I think you have said everything that, but for me, I want to add something.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to be approachable. You don't have to fear, like have a fear in anything. You have to talk whatever you want to say. You have to be positive to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't think about any negative thing. And I come from a military zone, like where I stay. They train us, the kids, to be respectful, to be bold, not to fear anybody. Say what you want to say and be free and to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about self-care and then mental health. Yes. So when we talk about self-care, I know we all know what self-care is and then what mental health equally is to us. So from the start of a new school or a new level, a new semester or anything like that, from the start of a new school year, how has it impacted your self-care routine and equally your mental health? How are you able to, I mean, put all these things together, because when you vacate, you are home. You have your own routine. You've adjusted to that whole routine. Now you are beginning a new semester. You are reopening. How are you able to grasp all these and equally your mental health?
Okay, thank you. Sometimes it's really stressful. It's stressful. Being in school and all those things is stressful, yeah. But when you're in the house, you're able to relax, do whatever you want to do, hang out. Yeah. But when you're in school, you're not like you don't have time to do certain things. Yeah. You're always focused on your academic works. You do everything, but you're not having time to feel yourself, have enough sleep, hang around.
Okay, but are there some strategies you have deployed to help you, stay focused? Yes, you are home. I'm about to resume. It still doesn't take nothing from me. You are equally able to bounce back with that energy, even though you are limited from doing certain things. Are there some strategies you have deployed to, fix yourself, whether in the house or still in school?
Thank you. So I focus on what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't listen to what others say. I focus on what I'm supposed to do.
At the time. So if you are home, that means you know you are home.
Yes.
But if you are at school, you know.
And I have a timetable on what I do.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Sami, let me come to you. I think we are almost closing the conversation. So are there some strategies you also deploy when you're about to resume? That's energy from home and to school.
Okay. So if I got you right, you talked about the self-care and your mental health. Yeah, so you see, tertiary education, especially with the guys or the boys, we once you are also going to be in the midst of many people, you need to be conscious of your environment. And for that matter, seeing yourself in a different environment, which is an environment that is highly competitive. You see all kind of lifestyles, dressing and those stuffs.
That's true.
So you are also alert. You are not just going to try to be like others, but you live according to your means. And what I have always told myself is that it's not about changing many clothes. I just have to be neat or wear a clean cloth anytime, any day. That is what I do about and I'm also conscious about when you're around people, make sure that they are comfortable with you. So if your self-care is not good, you will not be able to relate well with people. There are moments that you lose some friends without knowing because people are much concerned about those stuffs. And being in the university, I've taken notice of those things. So so I work around those stuffs. Now also, when you look at the mental health aspect, you see, I'm able to manage my mental health in the sense that I always watch back and say, I remember my roots, where I am coming from or how home situation is. So for that matter, don't give yourself unnecessary pressure or competition, trying to be like others in terms of lifestyle. I only give myself competition in terms of excellence in academics. I want to also be among the top-notch students. But I don't want to be among the classic students in terms of appearance. So I don't stress myself much because I live according to my means. Then also, I like listening to music. So when I'm not reading, I make sure that I listen to my music. I don't clap, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So because of that, I don't have much to think about. Then also,
so are you saying those who think and smoke, those who smoke and drink have a lot to think about?
Some are of the view that when they want to do away with their stress, they have to take this alcohol and smoking and those stuff. Those things actually give you a pseudo feeling. It's a false feeling that you are fine. But when those substances wear off, the problem is still with you.
There.
Yeah, so once I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I don't club and do those stuffs, I just listen to my music. And as I said, I read a lot of books. I read much books in relation to leadership. So hours that I don't have much to do, this is what I do, and it keeps me okay. And also, once in a while, I also just roam about. There are moments I can just roam around just to admire nature. That is it. And
Okay.
I don't bet, I don't watch football. In terms of this, some colleagues of yours who leave lectures to say they are going to watch Manchester, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't do those stuffs.
Okay.
I don't bet. So those things are not distractors to me. And with my phone too, I sometimes freeze some apps. And yes, just to concentrate. These are the things I do that helps me in terms of my mental health.
Okay.
And I don't force myself to get what I don't have. That is it.
Okay, so we are almost coming to the end of the conversation. So I see that you have touched on a few bits of what some people can learn from you in order to release their stress and that was about you. But now let's come to the open. Whoever is watching us, what advice can you give to someone, a student who is trying to balance work and school, or who is just even schooling? Because I mean, all of them come with stress. So, what kind of advice would you give to someone who is struggling to meet the balance and trying to pick up work and pick up school, or even pick up school alone? What are the final words you give to such a person who is in that imbalance?
Okay. So, what I would say is that see yourself as a unique person. You have your capabilities and you also have your weakness. Don't think much about the weakness.
Okay.
Keep working on the stronger side of you.
Yeah.
And once that is a strength God has given to you, God in his wisdom knows that that strength will actually take you to the highest level if you focus on it so much.
Yeah.
And also, once you get to the school, always remember your roots, where you are coming from. Don't try to be like others, because others were born with a golden spoon.
Yeah, silver spoon.
Yes, and you may want to be like them. You will not be able to match up.
Yeah.
Also, bring yourself down
Yeah.
and take every opportunity to be a learning process. Else, if you are thinking that you know it all, complacency is what you are inviting to yourself, and that will lead you to your failure. Also, do whatever you can to let your academics be the most important thing for you, because people are investing in you, or you are going the extra mile. Now, to those who will have financial issues, you see, within the university, there are minor jobs that you can pick up for yourself. You see, now we have a lot of organizations around that need people for delivery services, laundry, shopkeeping, and those stuff. Do not be shy or feel that you are bigger than some stuff. Do it. It's just because the remuneration is not good in our country, but our colleagues in the States, these are the things they do, and they are able to pay their fees. And when you start earning, you become careful with your spending. So they shouldn't feel that if they are not able to make it in terms of money, they should go the extra mile to do the negative. And to the ladies, nowadays, the men that are in the system, they don't give out for free.
Yeah.
You may think that they are dashing it to you, but it's a trap they are setting. You pay for it. And also, there are some that these rumors are very clear, or is high, that most of our ladies in the universities are now into these hookups and prostitution. Please, those things will not help you. It isn't the way to go. God has actually given you a potential, rather than what he has given to you as what? Your private part that you should cherish so much. So there are a lot of things that you can do to make it, but not giving your body to what men for money, because infections are on the rise. And at the end of the day, if you fall ill, your academic excellence you are seeking for will be in the shackles.
Yes, anybody, your mental health.
Exactly. When they dump you, you'll be hot. Yes.
Let me take your final words, Erica.
Okay, so mental health is very important, and as students, we are supposed to take it very important. You are supposed to be humble to yourself, be humble to others, be respectful, be bold. Don't fear anybody. Say what you want to say. Feel free. Don't listen to what others want to say, and don't follow bad friends. If you have a friend that is advising you of something that is not good, then you stay away from the person.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel and Erica, thank you very much for coming. So this has been African Students' Voices, and today we discussed mental health and student well-being, which was an open discussion. And don't forget to follow the conversation on our social media handles. Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Jemima Deladem Dotsey, and I have been your host. Stay tuned and see you same time next time. Bye.